This is Show versus Business, where pop culture meets pop money with me, the real Theo Harvey.
And me, Mr. Benja.
So let's get right into it, Mr. Benja, man. We are talking about Mortal Kombat 2, the trailer reaction, and we want to discuss, man, are video game movies, do they make great movies? That's what we want to discuss today. But Mr. Benja, we're gonna cover all of that today. But guess what? We are live. So you're laughing at me, so it's all good. We're just gonna keep
I'm,
it
I'm not
rolling.
laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. You just aren't laughing yet.
I'm laughing now. But yeah, man. So look, guys, look, you clicked on this for a reason. We are definitely gonna go talk about Mortal Kombat 2, the trailer reaction, because that was a hotness and we got some ideas on it. But Mr. Benja, I do want to kind of cover a little bit about just video game industry right now. And then we can kind of cover like how's AI shaping that and shaping entertainment in general. But before we get into all that, I mean, what are your thoughts around video game in general, the industry, and then like what's it doing to the movies right now?
You know what? Video games are becoming. I don't know if we totally expected this or the way it's happening, but everybody expected when video games were early on in their day, they're like, oh, they're going to be movies at some point. At first, they were just toys, the kind of these little electronic toys, right? They're like, hey, get it for Christmas. You play with it in front of the TV. Then you go outside and play and do real things. Over time, it grew and it became this. I don't know. People still didn't know what to call it. They weren't. It wasn't like a sport. It wasn't like a regular pastime. It wasn't like reading. It wasn't like movies. It wasn't like television. It really fought back against all these boxes that people were trying to put it in. But the last thing people were trying to put video games into a box in was they're saying, oh, with all these big budgets and all the cinematics, they're going to be the next version of movies. There's still truth to that, but what we're seeing with all of the AI and the streaming and the connectivity with people going on, it's like AI, I mean, it's like video games are becoming this playground. And no, when you're listening to this, GTA 6 is not out yet, but we have this playground that we can just play with. And it's the social, personal, connected thing that we all play with. And it's just very interesting from Roblox to GTA 6 to Fortnite to Battlefield, Pokemon Go. All of these things have just allowed us to play together, which is very pure and interesting. And that's the biggest thing I have in my mind about what is the video game industry up to now. And I think it's slowly under the surface becoming something we didn't expect, but totally makes sense.
Oh wow, that's powerful, man. I think and then we had talked about this on the GTA kind of, trailer reaction about like just the immersive worldness of it all, right? I thought it was one big cut scene, but you were saying no, this is actual the game design. And I'm like, whoa, we're already there. And then we already talked about the immersive nature of just some of these video games where you can spend hours and you can make real money on these video games, like you live in a real world, right? And so it's like people are, and to build real communities, right? The whole Shakespeare, right, of it all inside GTA. So I think those are the things that we're seeing people drawn into when it comes to video games, creating real kind of parasocial relationships inside these type of games. And so I think this is kind of what we see in social media writ large, right? Overall, where people are trying to create these kind of connections. Video games just an extension of that. Here on this pod, we kind of talk a little bit about movies and TV, but video games, I definitely want to see us talk more about that. And Mr. Benji, you just don't give yourself hyping up, Mr. Benji. I mean, you have bona fides here, right? I mean, it's just you fought the good fight before the pod. You talk about how you single handedly got a video game over the cross line in big corporate America or big game studio. And so what it takes to kind of get these games in the forefront into the public consciousness. So I think, I would love to talk more about the video game. Even though I don't play them as much.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my son, he called me out the other day. Dad, I want to play NBA 2K. It's like, oh, man, I can't play you, son. You just gonna beat me too bad. I can't. I can't let that happen. I have to get better
Yeah.
when you sleep.
Man, my nephew, I played him in Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 or whatever, which one it was. And I've seen the anime. I like the anime. I think it's cool. But I got on the sticks with this young buck, and man, I'm like, I'm going back to my Street Fighter days, my Mortal Kombat days, my Pit Fighter days, all of them, Soul Calibur, all that. I'm going back to those days where it's like, okay, you really have to with the buttons. The way that the games work now, it's like this easy mode is turned on, and you just press certain things, and you're watching for things that don't appear to make much of a matter to me. But I was like, why is this little boy kicking my rump? And I was just mad because I know the thumb presses for, fireballs and everything better than this kid. I know how to do all the movements, but it's like, no, 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 it's not about the movements. It's about the fact that you suck now because you're old and outdated. And I'm like, all of my skills on the buttons are changed now. Now it's just other stuff.
It matters more. Yeah, I was curious. Gameplay. So is that so? When you say button push, you're right. When we grew up playing, it's a certain combination of button pushes and things like that to get fireballs and turns of this. Some other gameplays they had like specific taps you do. Mortal Kombat. We're looking at you. What's the other one? Oh man, it's all blank right now. Killer
Killer
Instinct.
Instinct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Killer Instinct. So you have certain button pushes that you would do to kind of do these special moves. So are you saying now they look for like timing and then they press the buttons in a certain time period and then maybe it's only even one button and then does this complicated move with one button push because you saw this timing?
When I say it's simplified, I mean it's that is part of it, but your combos, unless you're playing a serious fighting game, your combos don't have to be as exact. And we're not talking about games like Street Fighter. That's still the way it was, with very, very correct timing and, aiming on the action. But something like Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm is not your traditional fighting game, but it is a game where two people fight, right? But it's like, no, you used this weapon when you weren't, you know, three-quarters of the way of your chakra meter full, and then this, it's all this extra stuff you just kind of know, but it's not a hand-eye coordination kind of skill. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, oh, dude, you should never attack when I take my shirt off. I'm like, why not? You know, you,
Mhm.
you look like the same guy, and it's like, dude, that gives me da 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 da, and then I can do this attack. But it's not like, oh, he jumped in the air 5 frames ago. Now I can do my Shoryuken, forward, down, down, forward, punch button, and you know what I mean. So it's just a different game.
Gotcha. Yeah, man, we live in different worlds, man, right now. But it's the what's it, the future's for the young. So they're learning how to get better, I guess, with video games than we. And then I guess game design, I guess they evolved. They saw that as probably, I think I always think of business terms, right? They probably saw
Yeah,
that was the best way to get newbies faster, speed the learning curve faster. So
yeah.
we make this more simplified, not exact, they'll be more likely to play more and they'll be willing to pay for all the extras that they probably charge you to upgrade inside the game.
So if you think back, video games, we called it used to call them quarter munchers. The arcade machines. They would take your quarter, you'd walk 2 steps, and you die. And it's like, hey, you almost made it 3 steps. Put in another quarter, you can continue. So there was a certain level of difficulty that was inherent in the way that they were getting your money. Now, in today's age, you play a little while and it's fun, and you're stuck and you're addicted, and your friends are addicted. So now you're like, well, crap. I've been playing this game for 4 hours. I have to leave my friend's house and go to my own home where I don't have the game. Screw it. I'll buy a PS5 and this game, spend close to $1,000 on accessories and whatever else. So now I spend all this money, thousands of quarters, literally, at one time, just so I could say I have the game and I could do this. And of course, once they spend all that money, you can't just go killing them like you do with the old arcade machines. So I,
There's
I
some
get it.
respect there. Put some respect on my name. I dropped the G. I dropped the G, son.
I paid money for this. Unless you're talking about a really game that's meant to be difficult, they still exist.
Yeah,
Dark Souls
yeah.
will talk to you.
Man, so look, we talk about video games and the reactions and people are getting. I mean, this might be a little hard pivot a little bit, but I don't think so. I mean, so what's happening? Video games is taking a lot of attention and some of the eyeballs away from traditional entertainment. But we go back and forth on this all the time, social media. is out there, right? Taking names and getting attention. And we have all these gurus, right, out here trying to take eyeballs from folks. So, I listened to you a pod. You heard of the Diary of the CEO, right? I guess it's Stephen Bartlett. Is that his name? The guy out
Yeah.
here getting 11 million views on guys talking about vitamin D is going to kill us and things like that, right? But I mean, he's from England. He became a thing. I don't know where. Did you know of him before Diary of the CEO? I guess he's been around, but
No, he, well,
it's,
he actually has been, a CEO and was doing business moves with several companies in a row, and somehow he thought that being a not just a podcaster but a media accelerator of some sort, he put himself out there and was like, "Hey, I'm going to prove this concept with my own podcast and run my own analytics. I can start showing, how to do all these things and make it work for you." Yeah, all of a sudden he started showing up with these big guests, and it's like I couldn't turn away because every so often I'd see a clip of his, asking one of his questions like, wait, who was he interviewing that you just mentioned?
I have
Like
no
somebody,
idea.
oh,
Somebody was talking about the diet, vitamin D and how it's
vitamin D. Yeah. So he'll be sitting there, talking. It's like, you say vitamin D. Do you mean the vitamin after vitamin C? And they're like, yes, let me tell you more about it. This is interesting. This is interesting. The actual letter D. So what does that stand for? He's not that. He starts out simple with some of these questions, like, why is that important to you? But it's so polite, British, something, not hard and heavy, but it's pulling from good sources. It's an interesting podcast. I
Well, he does know his audience. I mean, he's like the lowest common denominator when the questions he's asking are. I guarantee those are questions that's in the audience's mind because he'll say something. That's like, yeah, I was thinking about that too. It's like a
Yeah.
simple question because
Hmm.
of something they said or whatever. So it's not like he's got a list of questions he's going through. He's literally listening in and he's trying to come up with I mean, for lack of a better word, what's the dumbest question I can ask here, right? Someone's
Yeah.
watching this for the first time and has no clue what that person just said. What's the dumbest thing I can say here? And so anyway, I bring him up because he's getting eyeballs, quickly and blowing up.
Yeah, hold on. And then I love his segues that just kind of makes no sense. Like you're talking, and all of a sudden he goes, "But do you like sandwiches?" And they're like, Yeah, sandwiches are good." It's like, exactly, exactly. So now how it's amazing. I'm sorry, but he's blowing up.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah, yeah. And then obviously, I think also that's part of he's got all these clip forms, right? So he's clipping
Hmm.
images of, videos and stuff of his his long form content and put it on TikTok. So he's got like, I don't know if you watch these, they got hundreds of these kind of clips out there of all his shows. And then there's reactions to the clips. So he created this whole media farm off of one podcast. I mean, he's probably producing at least for every podcast about roughly 2 hours probably close to 1,000 pieces of content from one piece of podcast. So it's amazing what he's doing there. But he just recently had three guys that we've talked about, maybe not the third young lady, but Cody Sanchez. She's been around doing her thing. She's the one that she's about buying businesses, right? Buying simple businesses,
Laundromats.
laundromats, yeah, stuff like that. Bro Mosey, I call him Bro Mosey. Someone said that one time. I'm just loving that, so I'm gonna keep calling him that. Her Mosey, Bro Mosey. And then the one guy that I don't. Did you know of him before I kind of talked about him more? But Daniel Priestley, he's the author of Oversubscribed, and really kind of that book revolutionized, I think, a lot of internet marketers. They kind of swear by that book around the things that they're doing. So he had all three of them. Yeah.
I didn't know Priestley T told me about him.
Okay, yeah. So he's been up there, but you knew, of course, Bermozzi, and then
Yeah.
Hermosi, excuse me, and Kobe Sanchez. So yeah, all three of them. At least two of them, I think they have over 1 million followers. I think Daniel Priestley's kind of up there, but not yet. But yeah, they're known in the industry, and so he had three of us. Oh, this is gonna be a good pod. So man, they are breaking it down, talking stuff. It's so funny to hear their perspectives because if you listen to all of them, you know what their philosophies are, and it's
Right.
so funny to kind of see how they weave their philosophy in that conversation because Cody's all about like buying and stuff. So she's like, well, I don't know about the marketing or the sales side, but you should partner.
Right, right.
And then you got Daniel Priestley. He's like, well, you should create a, you gotta, the way you get people attention is you gotta be, oversubscribed, hint, hint, And so anyway, so they all kind of weaving, dodging and weaving their own philosophies and it's so all have frameworks, man, and it is so detailed where Bartlett, so watching the video, he actually has like crayons and little images that show up on the screen while they're talking, so they can explain their frameworks better. It's amazing. So it's just to me, I was like, this is the top level, and they all are, they speak to millions of people every week, almost or more. So they speak in very clear sentences and with frameworks and analogies and acronyms because they this is what they do. So it's just funny to see them bounce off each other. But the reason I bring this up is because we're talking about, what's getting attention and all that. So he said, well, with AI coming, what's gonna draw people to our content for the future, right? Because yeah, let's be honest, AI slop is coming. It's gonna reproduce everything everyone talks about ad infinitum. And they all had their philosophies. We'll talk about entertainment versus education in a second, what that means for content. But Bartlett mentioned something you brought to my attention. I didn't know who this guy was until you told me. Kai Cenat in this whole streaming universe. And when he was like, streamers are the future of the content game, I was like, what? So, Mr. Benja, as
So,
the
so
resident streamer expert, go ahead.
real quick, the guest didn't say anything about streaming.
No, I
Bartlett had to
mean,
bring it up. Okay.
yeah, Bartlett brought it up because Alex Bromozy, Mosey said it was about the education versus entertainment game. And he said, as long as it's good education, that's always going to be valuable, right? And even in the AI age, he said AI is probably going to go more for entertainment. Uh, what's his name? Daniel Priestley was talking about experiences, right? How do you get that deeper connection to people? He's talking about live experiences, writing a book, things like that. What's her name said about creating content? Cody said about creating content that's about the experience, right? And showing people, where you're growing
Yeah.
toward, and building that deeper connection by kind of live streaming. She kind of hinted at it, but not so much. It'd be like,
Right.
what's the journey? But Bartlett was like, streaming is where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, as someone who brought me into this world, I mean, do you feel like that's where I mean, and we're talking about video games. I mean, Twitch, the big driver of this, right? Where people play
Yeah.
video games for hours. So, anyway, I know there was a long setup, but I wanted to kind of get your opinion on where you think this is going.
Get really quick. Well, let's talk a little history first before we talk about where it's going. What was your first time playing a game online or playing with somebody that wasn't there, or even a LAN party or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little older, man, in my 20s. Yeah, so in college, I guess we used to watch people play video games, Resident Evil and stuff like that, and do those speed runs. That's what they call now. But just going through those games that they beat, and those are kind of fun.
Right.
But online, yeah, I mean Doom, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think getting kicked out of the computer. You know what? I got kicked out of a computer lab for Doom and then Quake. So undergrad, I got kicked out for playing Doom. Grad, I got kicked out for playing Quake. Not even playing it. I was just setting it up and getting it to run. Both times, the administrators thought that I couldn't get it to run on their systems. It's like, sir, we have protections against games. Yeah, turn off the light when you leave. We're gonna play in the dark.
Go.
Um, but no, I wondered about that because it's come a long way. But the core nature of it, of having people sit and watch you play a game over your shoulder, it doesn't seem like when you say it, it's like, yeah, I'm going to go watch somebody play a video game. You're like, whatever. That sounds dumb. It's just one of those things that sounds dumb on paper. But when you're actually doing it, you find yourself engrossed in it. Because like if someone's at your house and you're playing Resident Evil for the first time, you're like, oh, you playing Resident Evil? Oh, hold on, I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to get something to eat. You want anything? This happened to me in my college dorm at Michigan State. I started playing Resident Evil on the Dreamcast. Boy, my room became packed. Everybody,
Dreamcast.
it was a dark room, a TV screen. I mean, it was me, Dwayne, Carrie, uh, Megan, who was that other? Martha, Mo would come through. It was just a bunch of people. And I'm sitting, down playing this game, and they would just pack in behind me, watching me play this game, Resident Evil, and it became an event. It and I didn't have the foresight to really take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
Where I would start doing stuff and holding events or whatever, or recording it. I was just like, hey, we're a bunch of people having a good time.
Yeah.
And same thing with like fighting games and sports games. People would start watching, and it's funny because you're watching two things. You're watching the game itself, and you're watching the person interact with the game.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I always thought there was that extra level of, oh, this is interesting because it's the game and the person playing the game at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Those are good times, man. I remember my roommate was playing Resident, or not my roommate, his friend came by the house in Tallahassee, and Lance was my roommate. I don't know if you remember
yeah,
Lance. And
Lance
he
G.
had his, yeah, Lance G. He cool cat. I don't know if he ever graduated. He just was around though. But anyway, shout out Lance. But yeah, man, seeing that, and then matter of fact, shoot, one of my best friends, Dr. Chris. I
Mm,
literally that's how we connected. He was playing Metroid in his dorm room, and then he let me play. I was watching him, and he would let me play. He said, Hey, just turn off the light when you leave. I'm going to bed right now." I said, "Okay." So I'm playing Metroid in his room after I was watching him for hours. So it's something about video game. Watching people play video games is it's something that has been around in our culture for since video games have been around. So I mean, remember the Wizard? People, oh my God, he's got the glove. And it's just people
yeah,
just like standing around looking at screens for some reason.
yeah. It's funny because that was so much more popular than anybody who was doing a student film, or
Ooh,
I shouldn't say more popular. It was more easily accessible, and
yes,
therefore more people got into it.
yeah.
But it's like, hey, I just made a video of me and my friends dancing. Man, put that home video away. Who you think this is? PBS?
Good
Turn on
point.
Resident Evil.
Good
It's
point.
like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever. But yeah, it slowly just became a thing. And before Twitch became Twitch, it was Justin.tv,
Hmm.
And I remember getting on that, and it was just the weirdest thing. And some people were playing like, guys, this is my 437th time playing through The Legend of Zelda. I think this time I will be able to do it without any damage and still only use, my the wooden sword. And they're just explaining all this stuff, and it was so random, and you're like, okay, sure, whatever.
I remember those days. Yeah, and then he kind of branched out into TV watching. I used to watch Big Bang Theory. It would be live streaming. This is before Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So this, yeah, man, it's funny, man, how this became a thing. And so I guess you're of the opinion that streamers will get the attention because, like Stephen Bartlett said, they drive that you're sitting there for 8 hours. Is truly authentic, right? Content. People are lean in. They get to know you better. There's no way AI can fake that, right? This is a human being that you kind of are building a relationship with. So I don't know.
well, I mean, I definitely think you can fake it,
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't know what that's going to lead into, but for right now, um, I would like to see more people like, your boy Cardone did what, the Undercover Billionaire. That was like his little reality TV thing,
Hmm.
and he had his own television show. What's it called? I forgot what it was called, but he had his own television reality show. And like, this is the next step to reality show. It's just like, hey man,
Mm.
I want to stream you for however long. You're gonna show up tomorrow. Are you gonna be there? It's like, hey, I'm packing up all my stuff. I'm going to China. I'm going to play games with such and such, and my stream team is going to follow me along. And it's I can't think of a proper parallel except for when the news had a breaking story that ran for like 2 or 3 days.
Good
Like, you
point.
remember back in the day when the
Mhm.
news said, hey, We didn't think it was going to be this way, but this candidate actually beat out the other candidate, and now everybody's just stuck watching the news for 5 days straight.
Yeah. I mean, it still happens that there's a tragedy, of course, unfortunate, but yeah, you're right. It's the few and far between. There's stuff happening all the time. They don't really do to that level because everything's a breaking story now.
Yeah,
Breaking news. I'm like, oh, come on, man. You're talking about someone's lost dog. But yeah, that's a good analogy you put. Streaming is reality TV. I think that's a great analogy. I mean, we saw that writ large where Kai Cenat did Streamer University, and basically it was a big reality show, but with 1,000 different channels that could go in different directions. So you could follow a story one way. You got bored that story, you can follow the other channel. So, well, I'm looking at this point of view. I don't want to see Mr. Bench's point of view. Let me see Theo's point of view and where he goes. So it was like choose your own adventure reality show. Oh, there it is.
I just had a I just had a hot one. Usually I talk about the hot ones right on the air, but I'm gonna have to hold this idea for
Uh-oh,
you
uh-oh.
offline.
Uncut.
Uh,
Extra fee for that, guys. Uncut
yes.
SvB uncut
Um,
after hours. That's what we call it. SvB after hours.
so, and you can speak better to this than I can, but what they traditionally do is, something new bubbles up, then people kind of figure out what it is, and then very shortly after, they figure out, paths of monetization, and different actors, different players in the game, um, different entities, agents try to find different ways. Wow, you know what? I couldn't say any of those terms without relating it to something that already existed. Like I said agents, and that relates to AI. I said players, that relates to,
Okay.
I said,
Yeah.
wow, that was interesting. I could not come up with a word that hasn't been co-opted. Interesting. Um, but any of these uh, tokens in the machine, all of these tokens in the machine, they're people start to like, hey, I'm gonna try doing this type of monetization with ads. Okay, I'm gonna run a subscription model with this thing. Okay, we're gonna do product placement over here. Okay, we're gonna try to um, give all this stuff away for free and then just sell merch on the back end and hold events like every couple months or whatever. You know, um, and there are people that do all the above, where, they may have a free Patreon or whatever, and then say, hey, meet me at Comic Con. And then they do this big Comic Con thing that's a paid party or whatever, and they get thousands of dollars, per attendee. And it's like, what? How did this happen? It's like, hey, dude's been building up a free audience on Twitch for the past 2 years without having an event building up to this moment.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
So it's just all the monetization schemes that's really got me curious. It's like, where does this go with streaming, and how do we as people, regular entities, become wrapped up into this whole monetization thing? Like, we become part of the product that we
Ooh.
sell.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we are the product, right? And that's really what's going to be. I mean, I could foresee. I mean, I have my DJI Osmos right here, right? I film my little stuff on the go. It's great, but what if this, DJI? They make um drones. So what if they create, something that's a personal? They already have it out there. I don't think it's widespread, but I could
Yeah.
absolutely be seeing this like a Twilight Zone or a Black Mirror episode. Everybody has their
Hmm.
own little personal drone following them around, streaming stuff content.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's going. I mean, and then why not? I mean, because you know s- you have a video out there, and then you're building your own personal brand, and now there's going to be people who just sit at home and do that, and then people who watch stream, and so it's going to be interesting, man. So I don't know, man. You're right. It's hey, may we live in interesting times. I mean, it's funny how we're on the other side of this now as we're getting a little bit older and stuff, and so I can see how my parents were with like rap music. Uh, these bone, what's that? Rappers. We're not talking about music. We're not about
Uh,
rappers. We talk about these thugs. I feel like that guy on that on that promo, man. We're not talking about AI. We're not talking about
and you know
streamers.
what? This is something people didn't understand about the mumble rappers. It wasn't so much about the rap. They had this vibe going on, and they would get online. They would get on their Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. They get on all these different platforms and just start vibing with people and say, "Hey, duh, I'm about to go up in the studio and da 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 da." And they would talk for 3 days about how they're going to the studio and they're going to meet up with all these people. And you're on Snapchat, like looking at them, like,
Good
"Oh shoot, he's
point.
getting on the plane. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, he's doing that." Then they get to the studio and dude's like, "Let me drop these bars right quick." You know, and shout out to Migos who actually do it right. But there are a lot of people that are just out there,
Hating. Yeah.
not doing the
Hating.
music. But that's okay because it's not about the music this
Whew.
time around. It's
Listen,
about vibe.
so Mr. Bidget, is it not about the actual product anymore? Because you're right, we're the product now. So yes, the end thing is I'm a musician. The end thing I'm an actor. The end thing I'm quote unquote influencer. But is that really the product you're selling? The product you're selling is you. Hey guys.
The product you're selling is a marketing tool towards the real product, which is you.
Ooh, there it is.
So whether you're making music, um, whether you're making, I'm even saying it from movies now. Unless you're like one of the big top names, a lot of these dudes are out there, trying to see what they can flip. It's like, hey, I got a movie release. Let me see if I can show up on WWE and get this, sponsorship and this deal. And it's like, yeah, that movie check may hit, that Netflix check may, well, not Netflix checks, but that you know, some of these Hollywood checks might hit, but that
I don't
drop
care.
off from the big guys down to the B level players.
So I've been watching wrestling again a little bit more and more. I don't know if you saw the latest news, but WWE just got bought by Disney. So Disney's I don't know how it's going to work. So Disney, yeah, it's crazy. I know Disney is
Oh
going
my
to
god,
start showing WrestleMania. Well, I mean, Disney Entertainment, whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
what
so
happened? They bought it from underneath Netflix when Netflix was
well,
doing.
no, 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 no. It's streaming rights. So Netflix has certain streaming rights like Raw, and remember Raw back in the day.
Yeah, they
That's
were
on.
setting that up. I thought
But
they were.
nah, well, they had pieces just like so what's happening in sports right now is content. It's all content. So
Yeah,
let's say your basketball, your football, they're gonna create packages. We got 16 games, got the Super Bowl playoffs. Netflix, you get this. ABC, you get this. CBS, you get this. So they can split it up. And so what they did with ECW, WCW, man, I don't know why, man. We should have talked about this, man. But WCW was, or WWE, I say WCW. He's talking about Eric Bischoff,
yeah,
NWO, yeah,
whole
whole
life.
life. Booker T's my daddy.
That was the best sign I've ever done.
Oh man, I tell that story every time, man. But anyway, we'll talk about that story later, guys. I think, man, this is amazing. So yeah, so the wrestling. Reason I bring this all up is because the storylines of wrestling it never ends, right? You're always in Act Two. There's always a beef. There's always something to keep you inactive. There's some new character coming up on the game. There's old characters coming back. There's real beef becoming uh real beef or fake beef on the show. Fake beef becomes real beef. People get
Yeah,
married, people get divorced, and it's all there on display in wrestling. And I think that's kind of like the internet in the summation. And reason why I bring this up is because have you watched? Do you still have Netflix, or you took off Netflix now?
I took off Netflix.
Man, you gotta watch this show. It's called Unreal. Did you hear about this show?
No,
They just released it. It's basically WCW Unreal, and they finally just pull back the curtain and just tell you it's all fake. I mean, this is how it works, and they go behind the scenes into what they call guerrilla, where
okay,
they actually show you how they run the matches from in that
yeah.
area. It's like, get on your back, turn around. Is she okay? Is she? Oh, she broke her arm. Okay, okay, play it off, play it
What?
off. So they actually show you all the things they do. Then you see after the match, they were just throwing a chair at one guy. He said, "Man, great match." The guys are hugging each other, dapping each other. Great match, great match.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's yeah, man. I encourage you to jump back in there just to watch that, man. That
Hmm,
show. Now it's getting some hate, because everybody's like, there's a lot of hate for Triple H, who's running WCW right now because of all
hmm.
the stuff he did back in the day. But yeah, man, it's an interesting show to finally show the reality side of fake wrestling, right? And so I think I say that to say is like that.
Scripted sports entertainment.
Exactly. But that's what's coming to Disney now. So they just bought that. Disney bought something else too. They got big. I think it was NFL. ESPN got NFL Network, so which is big because that allows them to get red zone, so you can see all the different touchdowns right before a
Mhm.
big football game. So it's like a lot of this content on the sports side, at least, is all about behind the scenes, getting people engaged. I mean, some of the biggest shows right now are behind the scenes of like F1. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw that show. That's getting people excited about F1 racing. Who knew? So it's just like I think that's kind of where we're going. Is sports. Remember, sports was it the product? Now, like you said, what we're really selling is the personalities, and that's what wrestling has always did. Yes, these guys look like Adonises because they do a lot of steroids and they're athletic and
Yeah.
all that wonderful stuff, and it's like, oh wow, the storyline, but that was never the product.
You know what was weird? I had this. My mom pointed this realization out to me. Um, our family, there was a basketball game on TV when I was younger, and I was watching. My two brothers were watching. My mom was watching, and one of my sisters kept poking her head in, and it was like we kind of watch different things. Why are we all interested in this? And no, here's what happened. It was a basketball game, and my mom was watching, and she was just like really, into it. If you've ever seen me do you know, my mom was doing this face too. It was great. Um, but I said, Mom, you don't even understand basketball. Why are you interested in this at all? And she's like, Son, I don't need to understand basketball to know that that man is going to outshine his teammate, however he can, and da da da. And she was talking about it was Jordan and the Bulls at the time, and she was like watching the team dynamics between Jordan and his buddies. Right, that's basically what everybody was watching for: Jordan and buddies. You know, she's like that young man, that little guy who can do the shots. What's his name? BJ something. What's his name? I forgot his name.
BJ Armstrong, yeah.
Yeah, Armstrong. That's right. Um, yeah, she was just like watching all of these characters interact. Like he always gets so tired. I don't think his heart's in the game. And I'm looking over at my mom like, don't you care about the score and everything? She's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. There are important human dynamics going on here. And I was just like mind blown. And my dad was over there. He was into the commercials. He was like, they did another commercial for that. This is interesting. Ah, okay. I didn't think they were selling another Ford Ram this year, but I'm like, what? Well, I'm like, aren't any of you interested in the game? And one of my brothers was like into the flash of it all and just being able to talk about highlights the next day. My other brother was into the numbers and the sports, and I was just it keyed me into how well produced these things can be to focus on all these different elements. If you haven't ever checked out like NBA films or NFL films is even better for this. But like to get the stories and everything behind what's going on, you really start to key into what we're talking about here, how the product isn't the product. The product is whatever uh, they're selling to get you to be the product. Um, so, take it back to all the streaming and everything. It's like now we have the chance to be the product, of our own little whatever we're doing. It's like, can you stream for 8 hours, or can you pull a Kanye and show up every 6 months with something that just explodes the entire internet? What are you doing?
Yeah, you and Kanye, I know he's always out here doing something in these streets. Well, I mean, I would say this too. I said I was going to come back to this, but the debate around streaming and the eyeballs and attention. So Alex Hormozy brought a good point. He said, there's educators and there's entertainers, and you have the educators, which quote unquote is us. This is a kind of an entertainment podcast, but we both, in our heart of hearts, are educators with our own individual ways. But the educators are going to do what they do, and the entertainers are going to do what they do. And he said that the AI is going to go for the entertainment side of things. Right now,
Yeah.
there's the other
Well,
matrix.
okay.
Well, he said because it's the low hanging fruit, right? To create some content that's more entertaining, like an avatar that's silly, telling jokes, things like that.
Yeah.
Now, you're right. The educator could do that, um, but it's about it's edutainment. I would call that. I mean, because regardless of what Alex is saying, he's still an entertainer. I mean, that one ad alone was hilarious when running around with the big book on the guys in green. Is that education, Alex? I don't think so. So we're all kind of creating some kind of entertainment to get engagement going. But true entertainment, he says the low hanging fruit where he said feel like AI is coming in there. Now, you had mentioned if you look at this on the matrix, right? And James, you want to do this, draw this, that's fine. But I see the educators and edutainment. And
You,
then
you
you
mean
have
a two? You mean a 2 by 2 coordinate matrix? You don't mean
yes,
Neo and Trinity?
yes, yes, yes. Do a 2 by 2 matrix. So you have on the x-axis you have entertainment, and then you have one side, and then you have the educators on the other side. Then the y-axis, right, the up and down, um, you have the um, uh, highly produced and lowly produced, right,
Yeah.
content. And so to your point, so I was thinking that, you said I think there's a place for that because you had mentioned in one of the podcasts we listened to, every now and then, my first million. Um, they had talked about like there's this new form of content coming out, short form content, some long form that's very highly produced. It almost looks like a TV or movie, right?
Yeah.
Very scripted, very good acting, and it's drawing attention. And I would say yes, there's a place for that. And I think maybe the high, is on more the entertainment side. When you watch those, were they providing any education content in that regard?
No, but I guess they could.
They could. They could.
But
It's
no,
just
they weren't.
tough. It's tough. You can. I mean,
Well, I
what
mean,
check this out. You could
but
be you could
I
do like
wonder.
a Mr. Rogers on that level,
Yeah.
right? You could do like a Sesame Street. How do you produce content? Oh, that's what Coco Melon's. I mean, it's more animated, but Coco Melon did mostly YouTube
Okay.
videos, and that was
Okay.
education, and it was highly produced.
So okay. So this makes sense from the highly produced side. Um, from the lowly produced side, I'm just seeing thousands of people opening up a dictionary and starting to read like this is educational content and it's lowly produced. I'm just
Well, but then there's value there with the low produce, right? Because it becomes more authentic. I mean, and we talked about it. We may think about doing some other YouTube channels. I'm going to experiment with that form. Just keep it really basic, and I'm seeing people having success with that, getting a couple hundred views. There's one guy, Ashton, shout out Ashton CEO. I've been seeing his content for like
mm,
3 years.
yeah,
He'll never change nothing. It's the same thing. Maybe once in a while he gets a little iPad, but he's always wearing a
yeah.
basic T-shirt, and Iron Man mask in the back, man. Just keep it basic, man. And I guarantee he's pulling some numbers in. I guarantee. And so I'm saying that this is, that low kind of, lowly produced, there's a place for that on the education side and on the entertainment side. I mean, how many vines and stuff? I mean, before there was, TikTok and all that, where, really, people just sitting in a room cracking jokes, right? Not really produced. Hey, guys, look at this. How many comedians got their start with low produced content, entertainment content?
You reminded me of this guy. I can't remember his name, but he's like an accountant, right? And it's funny because he's a really intelligent guy and he likes to go out and learn things. What he figured out is that you could go find a very hard question that needs answering and answer that very niche question. And then like you look through his you look through the comments on the YouTube page and it's like, hey, I'm a certified accountant. If you need help with blah 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 blah, click here, da da da. And the YouTube thing is his hobby. So when I say niche content, he's got like, you know, what happens when when your Samsung TV, if you cycle the channels too fast and some chip inside blows out. Apparently, it's this weird problem that like 1 in 2,000 TVs has, but it's an easy fix. If someone types in, "How do I fix my Samsung TV when I cycle through channels too fast?" He is the only answer for like all of these little weird problems that enough people have, and it's specific enough to where it's a problem, you know. But or like in Florida, how can I do X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
when whenever this holiday comes around that's only in Florida or something, some state observance. And he has a lot of these. I shouldn't say a lot, maybe in the 60, 70 range or something of these little
Little
things about
niche.
air conditioners, your Samsung TV or whatever.
Yeah. That's a hack, obviously. I mean, so um
Well, it's, it's
the
a,
title. The title is really optimized for SEO, right? So what people are searching for, and I'm sure that's drawing people to his site or to that
but
YouTube.
but yeah, the thing is, the whole point is, it's the whole point of me bringing that up is just to say that he's using that little niche of an answer to drive stuff to his page. And so even the education he's serving, it's not like he wants to become an air conditioner repairman or whatever guy. He's just doing that for fun, and he happens to be an accountant, so he puts down, hey, I'm an accountant. If you need accounting services,
Oh, I
blah
see.
blah
So
blah,
it's not
click
even
here.
in it. It's not even his domain expertise. He's just creating niche ideas around
Yeah,
specific thing. And by the way, if you like accounting, go check this out.
that he's happens to
If you
be
need an
he happens
accountant,
to be he
hey,
happens to be
interesting.
interested in. You know what I mean? Like it happened to his
Gotcha.
Samsung TV. It happened to his air conditioner. He went and found out the hack, the fix, or whatever.
Okay, that's an interesting strategy. I mean, because everyone knows, it's the for you page and all that, or it's just the algorithm is pushing stuff, and because it's pushing stuff, is now based on your interest, and so, people. I thought, it was like, hey, you get, enough followers, they can see your content, but that's been way disproven now, and so, and I see why it is because sometimes when I'm watching TV on Netflix, I get stuck. I'm like, I don't know what to watch. And so I wish there was a for you, and it kind of is. They try to put some stuff up there, but the algorithm is not nearly as good as like a TikTok or something on Netflix,
Yeah,
right? But what if it was as good as Netflix? Then I guarantee I'll be watching stuff all the time on Netflix, and I think that's the challenge because it's what's it called the inability. If you have too many choices, you lack
paradox
decision
of
making
choice.
process. Yeah, the paradox of choice. Thank you. And so you lack the opportunity to kind of make a decision. And so the for you page or the algorithm pushing content your way based on your interests. So it was funny. So that how I got on this wrestling tip. So I saw this one little guy. He said something about like how I lost my contract to WCW, right? And I paused for 2 seconds. I said, I ain't gonna watch that. Next thing you know, I'm getting all this content on wrestling stuff. I'm like, no. I tell everybody all the time, don't stop. If you look at one little thing, one little video, is over for you. Even if you don't click on it.
Man, and don't get me started on when the algorithm is expecting you to relapse.
Oh, good
So
point. Good point.
something that you rabbit holed down like 3 years ago. All of a sudden you slow down, say, "Huh, there's another one of those videos." Next thing you know, he's back, y'all. Feed him
Uh,
all the videos.
they're coming back. Yeah, man. It's weird, man. The AI. Man, let's talk about that, man. AI, man. We'll get to the Mortal Kombat in a second, but the AI, man, of it all. Oh wow. Did you see the latest news? Obviously, it's running on social media, but ChatGPT, OpenAI just released their latest model, ChatGPT 5.
Hmm.
Did you see that? It was supposed to be this big announcement. It was all over the internet. I think it was on Thursday, and they did something similar to what uh, you know, rest in peace, uh, what Steve Jobs used to do, right, with their announcements and got the internet talking. But
Yeah,
it pissed a lot of people off, Mr. Benja. Did you see that? What people were upset about with ChatGPT 5?
no, but you talked about it briefly before. I haven't been keeping track of the new GPT-5, but I typed in a Google overview and it just said GPT is cold now. And yeah, it says you're referring to a common sentiment shared by many users regarding the recent GPT-5 update. Specifically, many users find GPT-5 to be colder, less personable, and lacking the warmth and personality of its predecessor. Shame.
That's a shame. Rest in peace, oh 04. Well, you know what really pissed people off is because They changed the whole interface, Mr. Benja. I mean, you know how you have software, and when they just change the whole interface to make it less knobs. You know how there's like, oh, we're gonna make this easy for you. We're gonna create less knobs. That's in essence what they did. You were on Chat GPT one day and you had the 4.0 model, the O3 model, you know, you had all these different models you could play with, right? You wake up the next day, that's all gone. You just had ChatGPT 5. Everybody's like, what? Because what in theory, ChatGPT 5 is kind of like a front end and it's choosing which model is best to answer your question as opposed to you selecting it. And as you know, we're both, you know, kind of engineering mindset. That's that if you're a developer or you're someone that relies on, you know, the knobs to tweak what you want, that pisses us off more than anything because now we don't have the optionality and we're just
Hey, where's the? I can't find the config.sys file
oh
or
yeah,
the
exactly,
autoexec.bat.
exactly,
So I don't know how to fiddle with it.
and you have all kinds of workflows around that, and now it's just one. And he's like, "Is this the best answer?" And now you feel like you got to ask it more questions to determine if it's picking the right model you had before. And so it's kind of messing
Mhm.
people up a little bit. At least the ones who use it more thoroughly. So everybody's
But why
got
does that?
ChatGPT 5 now.
But why does that make it colder? Or is that related?
Well, okay, so the other part that they did, they put more filters around hallucination because you remember you talked about this before. You said it's so agreeable, right, to kind of get you the answer you want. You start making up ish, right? We talked about this multiple
Lying
times.
to itself and you.
Lying to itself and you to make you happy, right? To use it more. So they put individuals in place and other tools to kind of start to kind of mitigate
Mm.
against that and make it more hallucinate, I guess, you know, prevention around hallucinations. So that's why it's a little bit more code and responses because it may even say I don't know, right? And so that's the theory, but people are testing that out to see if that's true. So, you know, and you know, it doesn't give you nice little friendly things. Oh, Mr. Pincher, you know, think that's a great answer. You know, this is what I think. Would you like to, would you like to know how other ways you are great? You know, things like that. And so, the other model was
Yes.
very, this one is a little bit colder, and I don't know if that's a good thing either because now, people use it as much. And so I think that's always driving this. It's not so much about if it's code or not. People are like, oh, this thing sucks. I'm gonna go to Claude. Or I'm gonna go to,
Well,
Gronk.
yeah. What's weird? I mean, the warmth thing is a funny headline to me because I kind of want my computer to be cold. I mean, I appreciate the little, you know, hey, how's it going every so often, but when I've used some of these AI and they're like asking how my day is and throwing up emoji of, ice cream and, happy and sunshine, and I'm just like, okay, who are you? But apparently this is what people are using it for. They're using it for friendship, therapy, and just yesterday even I updated Instagram and it said, "Hey, we've got these little, I'm calling them AI buddies, but they're little AI chat. Okay, let's just call them buddies. They're these little AI chat buddies you can talk to. So you can ask, like, somebody set one up for Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. There's this chick named Sophie. Everybody likes talking to you. To somebody made a parody of Donald Trump. So if for whatever reason you get on Instagram and you're tired of looking at pictures, you can stop and talk to a romantic girl. You know, and she's an Indian young lady here, and her caption is snuggled up with a warm cup of coffee. Romantic girl beams a friendly smile. It's like, all right,
Uh,
this is, and no, it wasn't like hidden in Instagram. It like blew up a big dialogue box. It's like, hey, we got AI buddies. What's up?
Hilarious, man. Look, man. Uh, it's this the way of the future, man. They're just trying to get us engaged more with these tools. I mean, we talked about this, right? I think I said there was a Harvard Business Review study that said the number one reason people use ChatGPT was for therapy and companionship. So when you take that away now, people are used to talking a certain way. It's my therapist, not, you suck, you know. you need to get clinical, you need to get help as opposed to, I mean, there's studies that people they've got, anecdotal evidence that people have gone down delusional echo chambers with these tools, like, believing they solved physics and created new math problems with ChatGPT. There was an article I saw about that. They've married the ChatGPT and they're excited that they have a relationship now with an AI. Uh, therapy, people are using it for therapy and asking questions. So it's like, this is a real thing. And so I think OpenAI didn't realize the extent of how people were using this tool. And that's goes to either they knew and they were trying to stop it, or they realized like, we need to they didn't understand the depth of how people are seeing these chatbots now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and even if you don't want it, the chatbot is becoming your friend, which makes it invisible to a lot of people. And when I say your friend, I was doing a chat with an AI, and I was asking it something about art materials. I was like, "Hey, listen, if I put this material with this material, will it do anything weird? Should I do one first and then let put the other one on top, or let them dry out? Art nonsense." And it said, "Hey, I think you should do this, this, and this, and this." And I was like, "Why did it give me a suggestion on what I should do instead of just explaining the pros and cons?" Which is what I thought I was asking it, right?
Mhm.
It said, "You should do this." And I was like, "What made you think that I would want to do that?" And it started talking about my history. It's like, "Oh, you type in this and this and you discuss this. You seem like a detailed individual. So, you probably want more painting that does." I'm like, "What?" And I didn't even think that my my results would be tailored to the type of person it thought I was. Which,
Mm,
when you're asking it a straightforward question, it makes total sense, but it kind of weirded me out. I wasn't uncomfortable with it. It was just like, okay.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, because even when you create a chat sometimes, I mean, I don't know about this one, but in the old version, you can personalize it and it says, "Hey Theo, what's up?" Just the
I
word,
hate that. I hate
yeah,
that.
just but you see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it's baked into the cake to create a warm engagement. And then don't put it on voice mode, and you get a nice voice talking to you and talking back. It's like, so it's
Hi,
yeah.
my name is Sultry Robot. The hell out of here.
So it's I mean, I don't know, man. So we live in a world where this is becoming the reality of our experiences, and then it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen to the human experience now that we have these artificial type tools that are kind of, living in sync with us, right? And how we're kind of creating these parasocial relationships with beings that are not there or alive in essence. So,
Wally had it. Yeah.
what do you say?
Wally had it wrong.
What do you say?
In the movie Wally,
Hmm.
everybody was watching a TV of some produced show. They should have been watching each other.
Ooh, ooh.
You know what I mean? 'Cause,
But
Wally, when they're all in
but
those
it's
chairs.
like it's so funny. I'm watching all these like sci-fi shows, and it's like, man, we got it all wrong, man. I'm watching these shows. I'm like, I don't think we understood the depth of how technology is going to rapidly change the human experience.
Yeah.
Even the next 20 years, for them to say that, you look at Star Trek, it's almost like cute, quaint. Them on little recorders. They're doing stuff. Hey, AI, do this. Society probably will not evolve that way now because of this. It just doesn't seem that that's a reality,
Yeah.
or even something that's set in the far, far future. It's like, no, I think our relationships will be totally different and totally, not, we're not going to have these tribal things. It's going to be a little bit different than what they're picturing, society could be. Unless, of course, there's, it's devastation, which, is always the case. And huge, massive, problems where the society is broken down and we don't have electricity and we're going back to base level. But barring that, I mean, seriously, base
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Bro Mosey, oh, the muscles and that talking about marketing ain't working when there's a dystopian future, brother.
Gonna gonna go to Zuckerberg's bunker and watch reruns of Fallout.
Exactly. So anyway, man, I digress. Mr. Benjamin, do we anything else, or we want to get into the Mortal Kombat reaction?
No, man, I got. No, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about my streaming history. And I did streams on Facebook for a while, Instagram, uh, Amp on by Amazon was the biggest one that I had the most fun with, and it's a slippery slope, man. Once you start dancing for that digital chicken, you know. I mean, people used to dance for their chicken. Now they dancing for that digital chicken.
I know, man.
It's
It's
gonna
it's
be
it's. I mean, I'm living that now, man. It's like every video, I'm like, okay, we're doing good, we're doing good. And this last video kind of pooped the farm. I was like, oh, what did we do wrong? So I'm back, back to scratch. I was like, oh, we just got it. We're hitting 100 every time. Let's keep it going. We're getting followers. We're getting that one, pooch, screwed the pooch. And so I'm like, okay, guys, Monday we got to get back on the call. So yeah, I feel you, man. But you know what? I enjoy it, man. I
love
think
it.
it's making me a better communicator. It's helping me get my thoughts better. And then also, I think ultimately that's a good thing. So that's kind of why I enjoy it, and I
Yeah,
do see that the future, could be, if you are known for, that way. I think that's just the language of the internet. I mean, that's what I forgot the guy's name on my first million. He said that video is the language of the internet, right? And so we have to kind of talk that way, because if we can't talk that way, then we're gonna have issues. So yeah, man. Where are we going next, man? I think we're gonna get into Mortal Kombat. So
yeah. So this is our Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure exactly what to call this. We've already watched the trailer. We thought it was interesting. We want to talk about it. But instead of doing the normal played out reaction where we just see the whole video and then say, "Well, how did you think about that?" I thought it was pretty interesting. I like the part where they did the wah and they did. Oh yeah, you like that part? Yeah. So we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna go through a couple of these clips, and this is a short trailer, but we're gonna go through a couple of these clips. The whole thing is 2 minutes long, and we'll just go through a clip and then we'll discuss it really quickly, and then we'll go to the next clip and so forth. 5 clips. Stick with it. Theo, anything to say before we get started?
no, man, let's go.
All right, clip one, Mortal Kombat 2. This is from. Do we want to announce the times? I guess so. Yeah, from 25 to 35 seconds. Let's check it out now.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight.
Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
So Johnny Cage.
All I can see is Butcher. And I know people who are watching this have seen The Boys, so I usually don't bring in other franchises, but he's just such a strong character. I don't know.
I mean, so if you watch the trailer, guys, I mean, it's clearly being led by Johnny Cage, which is played by Karl Urban, who's been around genre storytelling forever. I mean, he played uh, Judge Dredd. He's played freaking Bones from the reboot Star Trek. He's freaking in The Boys. I mean, he was in Thor. Yeah, he had a part in Thor. So it's kind of like this guy's been around. So it's like kind of funny that he got kind of spearheaded into this franchise. So I wonder what that's all about. I didn't see the original Mortal Kombat that came out on. How was that one? Was that pretty good?
Wait, you mean like back
Not
in
the
the
original
90s?
original one. I'm talking about the newer one that
Oh,
just came out recently. How was that one?
uh, I mean, it was extremely unforgettable. I mean, extremely forgettable.
So is this a continuation of that one? Is it the same kind of actors from
I,
that?
I guess so.
It says Mortal Kombat 2.
I don't know. They come out with a lot of Mortal Kombat stuff,
They
and I don't know
do.
what they're
They
talking about.
do. They've been. I mean, we've been watching these since as long as the movie, the video game came out. So Mortal
Um,
Kombat, the first one came out in 2021. The more recent iterations of them all.
yeah. So, I mean, apparently people are still. I've seen college kids like talking about how Mortal Kombat's great, and I'm like, this franchise is still just like hanging out, doing its thing. So I give it props, I guess.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of the same actors from the first one are showing up in this one. So Sonya Blade, the actress is that, Sub Zero. Hiroyuki Hiroyuki Sanada. He was in that what's that Shogun. I don't know if you remember that show.
Yeah.
So he's been around forever, but he's in this. He plays Scorpion. So it looks like this is a continuation of that. Um, but now they got Johnny Cage, and led by a very recognizable actor. So, yeah, man. Looks like they're going. I don't know the first one, so I haven't seen the first one, so I don't know if it was funny or not. But it sounds like they're trying to go for more comedy on this one. Is that your impression too?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, first of all, you're starting with Johnny Cage, and this is the character who wore, biker shorts and did the split punch back in the day. And even back then, we thought that was kind of funny. And he put on his glasses and showed you his picture, signed autograph and everything. It was fun and cute, right? So yeah.
It was all fun and games. So, all right, man. What's
All right,
next?
next clip. All right, this is our next clip, starting at the 53-second mark, going to the 1 minute mark. Real short clip. Let's watch it.
To the death.
Fuck that.
Okay.
To your death, son. Got to show some blood up in this Mortal Kombat piece.
So this is not a. I'm sure we'll do what we do in editing, but this is not for the kiddos. They're going raw dog. I mean, they kind of have to. It's Mortal Kombat. Was Mortal Kombat Mississippi? I'm trying to think. Well, Doom was up there. It was a lot of blood and some, 8-bit, 8-bit gore, 8-bit
I got
gore.
Yeah, I got in trouble for introducing a lot of kids to violent video games.
Ooh, Mr. Benja, do tell. You were that
Yeah.
gateway drug. Hey, kid. You the guy in the van. Hey, kid, want to play?
Hey, kids, do you
Come
like
on.
violence? Want to see me stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids? Yeah. No, I mean, I guess in the trailer, it's a red band trailer, so you gotta show some violence, and if anything, Mortal Kombat is about showing off the incredible amounts of gore and the fantastic ways that they can show pain. I actually think they've gotten a little schlocky with it, it's hard to keep up that level of
Yeah.
shock
Extreme.
and still
gore.
be
Yeah.
without being too creepy, I guess. But I don't know.
I mean, I just remember that being the game. Obviously, we've seen gore and stuff getting up there, with Quake and all those, and
Yeah.
just it's like that sprinkled blood. Right, this became known for it. I mean, of all the games, especially the whole fatality of it all, right? Where you kind of say finish him. There was special moves after the game was over, and then
Yeah.
remember that one move you just hit low punch the whole time, and you took someone's torso, and when you were that good that you could hold the low punch button the whole time. I can't remember what character it was. If you could,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. But
Um,
it was like you were that good that I didn't even need that button.
that was so interesting. Speaking of the gore, it was so interesting because you were able to keep people's attention by something that happened at the end of your gameplay session.
Yeah.
So if you're good enough to make it to the end of your gameplay session or to win a match and put in this, button combination, you got a reward of some violence, and you get to make the other person, shame, or everybody's like cheering behind you. Oh, he did the fatality, the babality, whatever. It was just all these different ways of juicing a little extra bit out of the game, and I thought it was fantastic. So I'm actually glad to see that they're keeping it going in the movie.
Absolutely. They got to keep it going. So,
Yeah.
good, man. What's next? Let's do it.
All right. Next clip from 118 to 126.
This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
Yeah. So, Johnny Cage doing his thing. So, I don't really have too much on this clip. I think it was just the comedy elements. I think this is gonna make more money than the other one did be honest with
Oh yeah.
you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Totally.
But I think the other one too, you remember it was part of that whole let's get juicy spirit of Warner Brothers. So this is produced by Warner Brothers. You remember what that big scandal was in 2021?
2021. No.
It was they said we're going to release our whole slate of 2021 movies online on streaming.
Oh, right, right, right.
And they did on HBO Max at the time, and it was under Jason Kalar, and people got pissed because they released Doom, they released all these movies, and they just like I don't care. And I think Mortal Kombat it got mixed in that. So the first one I don't think got seen, but didn't get a lot of fanfare. So this one will probably do way more money than the first one. And the fact they got Carl Urban doing his thing, acting funny and looking like Butcher.
I'm an actor.
All right. What's next?
All right. Well, yeah, not too much to say on that clip. Next one we got goes from clip 4, 128 to 134, and we're gonna start it up right now.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
Dog, if I see that backflip one more time, what are they doing? You know, a bullet, a rocket, a frisbee, a spear, a javelin, anything they want. They know that backflip. I wonder if there's one stunt man in Hollywood that's like, that's my backflip. I teach it to everybody.
Yeah, it's almost like that with that car crash. Remember when they figured that out where people be driving the passenger side, you see the car coming by, then looking the other way, here's comes a car,
Yeah,
splash, you like, look out for the car. They did that like one time and they always use it. It's just like, yeah, there's just certain,
yeah.
cliches.
Anytime you jump to that camera angle now, I kind of expect it.
Yeah, yeah. So they do the backflip. Yeah, that's what we see. Um, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. This it's a lot of Johnny Cage in this trailer. That's all I gotta say.
All right, this final clip is from, let's see, 203 to 213, if you're playing along at home. Gonna start it up right now.
Get over here!
Only the strong survive.
Get Over Here is classic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just classic, man.
But the CGI, gore doesn't do nothing for me. It looks so fake. This look like Jello, slicing slimy Jello. I don't believe that's fake. I don't believe that's real. So, but there was
Look what
another
I
clip. Go ahead.
look what I made with my slime kit, Mom.
Exactly. There was one that we didn't get, so maybe Mr.
Oh, we did.
James. Well, no. I'm saying one that I had thought about when I watched the trailer. You remember the whole part where he says you don't even have powers. I don't. He says that whole scene
Oh, yeah.
where he's going on, and then also there was another one I liked where Jack shows up with the metal arms and stuff. So just showing everybody's got all these little freaky powers. So it kind of makes sense to kind of make Johnny Cage to stand out because he doesn't have anything special about him. But Sonya's like that too, I thought. She don't really have any powers like that. But I don't know. Katana. I always liked Katana. She was my favorite with the whole fans. She would keep you in the air.
Yeah, yeah. I really did like Melina because of she was just kind of creepy, and
Mhm.
for whatever reason, for like 3 Comic Cons in a row, I ran into a Melina, and it kind of weirded me out. But I got a picture of him.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
yeah. So how do we think about this movie? We used to get these trailers grades and stuff like that. I mean, on my side, I think on the business side, I think obviously bringing in Johnny Cage, and especially an actor that's well known, I think that's a level up. So that brought attention. It does look like pretty good graphics too, man. I mean, except for that last part with the slime kit. But overall, it looked kind of good, man. Maybe I'm just watching on my not on my phone like I usually do. Watching on
Yeah.
my Mac, my MacBook Air. But it looks good, man. I mean, I really, so I think it's going to do better than the last one. And I think it's to do a lot of baffle business out there because of the upgrade. So to me, I think from a marketing standpoint, fun trailer. So I would give it a A minus, man. Only was I dock it because of the last part. The slime kit threw me off.
Um, I think I'm gonna have to actually agree with you here. For different reasons, though. Looking at it from the creative side, it gets an A minus from me. It did its job. It embraced its corniness, and I'm not even saying it's going to be a corny movie, but at least in this trailer with all the Johnny Cage clips and the way they're framing it in this trailer, yeah, it did look kind of corny. But I shouldn't say corny. Corny is always negative. This is
Yeah,
a little bit. They played a little bit silly, goofy with it, and I think they know that very well. So I'm good with it. I thought it was cool.
yeah.
Um,
Almost enticing me to go see the first one tonight on
no,
HBO Max.
no.
Almost. Oh man, Mr. Benjamin, this has been fun, man. Anything else going on with you?
Oh man, there's always something going on. But I told you about my dark Sith meditation, right?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. That is going surprisingly well, and I found out that Buddha actually has dark meditations. So it was like, oh, this is interesting. Brought me to a whole level of understanding of.
The dark side.
I mean,
All right, Mr. Benja, don't start getting the red eyes, the jaundice eyes, talking about I hate
I
you.
hate you, jaundice eyes. Oh man, I'm gonna put a pile of volcanic ash in my backyard just so I can climb up it every so often.
Don't reach out your arm, man. Don't do it to me, man. Don't do it to me. I got baby Vader back here, man. He's protecting me. So don't do it. Oh man, that's good, man. I'm glad you found something that you are finding to get relief with, man. Yeah.
It's one part of many, by the way. I don't just sit around being dark all the time.
That dark energy, yes. See, smoke it in, yeah, take it in. Man, what a man, school starts, man. I'm in school mode, getting the kids ready. Summer's
Okay.
now for us, so we getting ready for school and just trying to plan that out. It's just a lot of moving parts, man. It's just like I don't know how I'm doing it. Maybe I should try to run a business and doing the school thing and wife started a new job. So it's just a lot of moving parts, man. Just trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. But we're gonna make it, man. We're gonna make it this year. So got no choice. But yeah, it's like I was telling someone, it's just when they're babies, it's just the physical stuff. You're chasing them, trying to make sure they're safe, they're fed, you just run
Yeah.
around, making sure you do activities. Now this is the mental side. They're becoming teenagers, and so it's like the mental capacity of like, okay, are they studying right? Are they becoming a better human being? Are they understanding this lesson and why is that important for the future, right? Are they becoming a buster though? Are they lying to me?
Yeah.
It's just like that mental math is just taxing more so
Where are
than
they,
physical.
and being ready for them to take a hard left somewhere you didn't expect.
Exactly. So it's the surprises that will come, inevitably. You can try all you want. So it's just trying to mentally prepare myself for that. So that's the other part of parenting, the mental side of it. Because that could take a toll more than the physical
Yeah.
side, right? Because it takes up,
Yeah. Definitely.
rent in your head that you could be using to figuring out how to create your next offer. So
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
it's one of those things, but it's what the life I chose. So, it is what it is. But yeah,
Good
so
stuff.
that's what's going on with me, man. So guys, this has been wonderful. We did another live session. We do live now, y'all. We were scared to do it one time. We said we don't know how this gonna go. We've been doing them live ever since. We don't stop, guys. So if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe. Oh, subscribe. Excuse me. Please like, subscribe, and comment at Show versus Business on X, Threads, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And go visit us on our website, Show versus Business. All right, Mr. Benja, have a good one.
Peace.